And now for something completely different. Here are 10 totally unique games. Over here at Logitech G, we're well versed in spending hundreds of hours in a single game. From perfecting our spellcasting in League of Legends to creating the perfect household in The Sims, there's something comforting about returning to the same game worlds over and over and over again. But sometimes you just want something different, don't you? You want to shake things up, discover a new game that makes you say, I've never seen that done before. And we've got just the thing, as today we're chatting about 10 completely unique games that are like nothing else you've ever played. From remarkable mechanics to groundbreaking stories, these are the games that you'll be thinking about for weeks to come. Speaking of the weeks to come, we put out brand new videos each and every week on this channel, and subscribing to us and hitting the notification bell means you'll never miss a new video. So, here are 10 totally unique games.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
If we were to crown one studio for consistently putting out unique games that charm and disarm us, we would forgive Hazelight for preemptively practicing their royal wave. The recently released It Takes Two is the newest feather in their extravagant cap, but back in 2013, the studio released Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and it blew us away. As you play through the story of Naya and Nay, two brothers trying to retrieve a cure for their ailing father, you'll be taking on the roles of both brothers simultaneously, each controlled by a stick on the controller. You'll be solving puzzles and battling enemies as both brothers, as they rely on one another to survive. It's creative, exciting, and, we're sorry to say, utterly heartbreaking. Superhot is a super smart first-person puzzler that puts you at the center of the universe, where time can only move forward when you do. Stand still and everything, from your enemies to the bullets fired from their guns, will freeze. This makes for an inventive puzzle game where you must survey your surroundings and devise a plan of action to ensure you always have the upper hand. If you want to take your time-stopping strategies to the next level, this game is also available in VR, where nailing a level by dodging enemy bullets, firing shots, or simply throwing your gun at an enemy feels even more satisfying. Complete a level, and you'll feel as though Sun Tzu himself would give you a pat on the back. Fail a level, and become painfully aware of how uncoordinated and chaotic you really are.
Superhot.
Trying to neatly summarize a Hideo Kojima game is like trying to traverse a disconnected, post-apocalyptic landscape to deliver a series of elaborately stacked packages while also avoiding deadly entities hell-bent on stopping you. That's to say, it's tricky, and will probably involve multiple nods to Guillermo del Toro. It's best not to ask why. In Death Stranding, you play as Sam Porter Bridges, played by The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus, and are entrusted to help reconnect a disconnected society.
As you can see, the Death Stranding poked us full of holes.
In true Kojima fashion, however, this is far from simple. No one quite knew what to expect before Death Stranding released, as each trailer left us more confused. One thing was certain, however, and that was that hearing Mads Mikkelsen say "BB, don't worry" was oddly soothing.
BB, don't worry. It's okay. I'll always be with you.
Players were surprised to find that for a game with such a looming threat, it's a largely meditative, quiet experience all about connection and bringing people together. Middle-earth: Shadow of War is an action RPG set in the Lord of the Rings universe, with a villain generation system that was so groundbreaking for its time that they patented it.
What auspicious time! You couldn't have chosen a better place to die.
first seen in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and then again in its sequel Shadow of War, this system, aptly titled the Nemesis system, is an incredible feat in development and design. It means that every procedurally generated enemy you will face will have their own personalities and looks, but will also react to your character and their decisions.
One scratch, that's all it takes. Not a gaping wound, not a severed limb.
This makes for a captivating RPG in which even the most seemingly inconsequential decisions will get noticed by your enemies. Of course, it was first revealed in Shadow of Mordor, but its successor built upon and improved the Nemesis system to bring us something truly special.
You, maggot! Surprised to see me?
Or is this the face of the Orc who will kill you?
No! This is the face of the Orc who will kill you!
Baba Is You is a delightful puzzle game where rearranging sentences allows you to warp the world around you. You play as Baba the Bunny, and in each level you must reach the flag. But doing this is far from simple. Anything from walls to lava will be standing in your way, and by rearranging the words in each level, you'll be able to reach your goal. If the flag is trapped behind a wall, don't worry, the walls can't stop you anymore. Lava stopping you from crossing? Just change the rules and push that lava out your way. Lava is no match for linguistics. Baba never ceases to find ways to excite and baffle you in equal measure. And this unique mechanic of moving words to create the level that suits you is something we've never seen done before. Before Your Eyes is a short but utterly transfixing crowdfunded indie game by Goodbye World Games that is controlled by your real-life blinks. By using your webcam, the game registers your blinks and uses them to propel the story forward.
Wait, that's my piece. How did you figure out how to play that?
You play as Ben and experience the story of his life in snippets, but how short those snippets are depends entirely on how often you blink your eyes. You may be halfway through watching a touching moment between a young Benny and his mother unfold, but blink too quickly and you may find yourself thrusted through time mid-sentence. It's equal parts frustrating and enthralling. This blink and you miss it style mechanic means you'll be desperate to take in every second of the game's short runtime. Don't worry about it leaving you dry-eyed though, as its heart-wrenching story will have you reaching for the tissues on multiple occasions.
Every time you blink, you're going to jump forward in time. Could be a second, could be 5 years. That's just how this thing works.
Described by developer Triband as a golf game for people who hate golf games, What the Golf takes the well-trodden format and turns it on its head, and then asks you to tee up that head and try to get a hole-in-one with it. Because in What the Golf, the world is your golf course. From hitting hundreds of balls at once to using your spidey senses to swing your way to a hole-in-one, this game will constantly keep you wondering what weird and wonderful levels they'll have you tackling next. Beyond the offbeat format, however, is a truly brilliant game that has you trying to figure out the physics of every item you're putting in order to progress through the levels. It's an inventive, funny sports game that takes the tension and competitiveness out of the genre and replaces it with puns. So many puns. The idea of playing a game as an insurance inspector might not fill you with excitement, but skipping over Return of the Obra Dinn would mean missing out on a game that, from the minute you step aboard the titular ship, is like nothing else you've ever played. From the grainy, monochromatic art style to the intricate mystery at the heart of the game, Return of the Obra Dinn is utterly enthralling. As you explore the ship, you'll be tasked with slowly piecing together what happened on board. You know that the crew and passengers all met unpleasant fates, but you'll have to use deduction, reasoning, and a little bit of guesswork to figure out what exactly those fates were. If you're the type of person who always manages to suss out the killer before they're revealed, you're definitely going to want to give this a go. Time to dust off that mind palace.
Company man woke me up. Said you'd need ferry to the Obra Dinn. Not many eager for that job.
We're sure you've heard of Portal 2 by now, if not the predecessor to this incredibly popular puzzler, Portal. But if we could just get one more person to venture into the ever-iconic Aperture Science Labs, then we'll have done our job. And then, hopefully, GLaDOS will release us from captivity.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time.
Portal 2 builds upon the innovative gameplay, intriguing storyline, and razor-sharp wit of the original, but now with added co-op. You and a friend can take part in a campaign completely separate from that of the single player and inhabit the mechanical bodies of Atlas and Peabody in levels that will put your communication skills to the test, and where timing is everything.
Do you understand what I'm saying? At all? Does any of this make any sense? Just tell me, just say yes. Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped, but never mind.
The Stanley Parable is like no other game you will ever play, but also the Stanley Parable is like every other game you will ever play. Intrigued? Perhaps slightly confused? Well then, you best give the Stanley Parable a go, as these sorts of whimsical paradoxes are what makes the game so unique.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
It's a surreal and witty first-person exploration game that toys with your expectations until you can no longer remember what your expectations were, or who you are, or why you're here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
After office worker Stanley realizes all of the co-workers at his monotonous day job have disappeared, he ventures outside of his windowless office to figure out what has happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's a game where the rules always change. Nothing is what it seems, and even the narrator cannot be trusted. We highly recommend you give it a go. Or do we?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
And that concludes our list of unique games. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and pop into the comments to let us know which game you'll be playing first. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to see plenty more totally unique videos from us, and thanks for watching.
There you go. Doesn't that make you feel happy? Like you just want to jump up and down?